To learn to live the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Click the bell notification. It's all free. So, as you know, I've been trying to clean this area up over here, this little section. This was probably the worst spot on the property. As you know, I have been trying to get enough sunlight on our corn garden for this next summer. We've spent a lot of time last summer trying to make sure that this little test garden here would work. And we had a lot of success with it. As small as it is, we got a lot of beans and tomatoes out of it. Quite happy with the results. But in order to do that, we had to clean this area up over here. You'll see all this up here we cleaned. You can see the brush pile, the old cedar trees here. The year prior, we tried to grow a garden and we just couldn't do it. There was not enough sunlight. So we got all this cleaned up. I mean, you see a cedar tree. I put a tire around it so I wouldn't hit it with the lawnmower. Then everywhere you see these little growths at was a tree. It was just as bad shape as what you see over here. Now, you know that the last few days I've been trying to clean this up. So I've cut everything down. So this will give us a nice evening time sun. Because over here on the east side, that what you just saw was the west side, over here on the east side is all wood. So the sun comes up in the morning and it's shaded by all these trees, and then it goes down into the west, and now we'll have plenty of sunlight. Well, I still got to clean this up. I wanted to talk to you a little bit before I get started on this cleanup about all the efforts that we've put into this. Now, as you know, I just made a video recently that linked to another video, which was the very first video that I was when we came down here. The place was an absolute disaster. I linked that video and it was actually well watched. A lot of people watched that video. So I'm gonna link that video again so you can see the differences that we made from the first day to the last till today. Now, it doesn't show everything as well as I would like. I wish I had the foresight to show you how bad this area was right here. I mean, this place was just covered in weeds and trash. Right now, I am dragging a thorn bush on my pants leg. This thorn bush came out of this little pile over here. Now imagine the entire yard having those thorn bushes and having to clean all that up. The entire yard was this way. It was really bad shape. But the reason I bring this up, I don't think people fully understand why we bought this property. It was $4,200. It was extremely cheap, extremely cheap. And it has a well on it. It had a trailer frame. Well, I mean, it was a mobile home that had fallen down. So it had the frame on the property, which, I don't know, let's just call that another $500. Let's say you had to go buy that frame. It was $500. And that we built our tiny house on. And it has all these woods for our firewood, but nobody was buying it. The guy originally put a price tag of $10,000 on this property, which actually is probably not too terribly bad priced, but nobody wanted to go through the effort of cleaning it up. So he kept dropping the price, dropping the price. So when he finally got down to $4,200, here comes Rob and Carolyn. Now, just the other day, I was chewed out. You don't know anything. Since you bought this property, prices have tripled. If you're going to realtors, you're never going to find a piece of property like this. You got to do your own work. But everything else is kind of a risk, like the well. If we'd have went through a realtor, they would have had to disclose that the well was probably not up to code. In which case, the realtor probably wouldn't even sold the place. Going and finding someone who was willing to sell it on Facebook Marketplace, that was just the way to go. I mean, Carolyn was an absolute genius when she tried to figure this out. Now, I will admit that Carolyn has bought property like this before. She had 8 acres, and she found a guy that was selling pieces of property, and he was doing a rent-to-own type of thing. And she went and bought a piece of property, and it turned out it was in a bad crime area. So she went back to the guy and said, look, I don't know about this. This is a lot worse than I expected. So I'm going to have to bail on you, and you can take money that I've already paid you and you can keep it. And he says, oh, no, that's all right. Here's another piece of property. If you don't mind moving over this area, we'll just give you this one over that one. That's how you should be negotiating. Carolyn and I walked this property. We looked at the well. We knew the well was in bad shape when we saw it. It was just a little hole in the ground is all it was. At first, we didn't even see the well. That's how covered this place was. It was in really bad shape. And again, if you go to that video, you'll see that the well had a piece of concrete block sitting on top of it. This lady who chewed me out was saying that you can't find property like this. That's not true. What she's trying to say is, I can't find property for $4,200 that's clean, that has a well that works, that has, you know, utilities, and, you know, whatever. No, you're not going to find that. You're just not going to find it. You're going to have to put work into it. In some cases, you may find a place that doesn't have a well, and you may have to do rainwater collection. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with rainwater collection. There's a lot of people do it. Yeah, we got lucky with the well, but is this lady actually going to want to do rainwater collection with all the excuses she made as to why she couldn't buy a piece of property? It's just not feasible. Like I was lying. Well, as a matter of fact, she's just said straight up, what you're saying is not true. Absolutely it's true. Carolyn can still find property. She's found property all around here that is going pretty good price. So I'm going to get started in cleaning this up. What I'm going to do here, I'm just going to take it a little piece at a time. You see all these trees that are down that I've cut down. I mean, just a week ago, you couldn't even walk into this area. I mean, look at this barbed wire fence. Now, is that lady going to want to come out here and clean that barbed wire fence? No, she wants a pristine piece of property for $4,200. So no, I'm not lying to anybody. This place is a pit, and it's going to take effort to clean it up. All this trash here has got to be cleaned up. So no, it takes effort. So like I was saying, you couldn't even walk back here, but now I can get back here. I can see that there was probably an old foundation over here, a little building. My guess is all this trash was inside that building at one time or another, and when the building fell over, they took it out or whatever, they just threw it all on the ground. There's a big hole up here, not sure what that is, and so trees have fallen over. Okay, so one of the things I'm gonna have to worry about is not hitting all this metal around here. You can already see, I think, that I've hit that right there already. Dulled the blade instantly. So I'm going to try to work carefully. See, I'm tangled up already in the barbed wire and the sticky bushes. Very dangerous while you're out here working with the chainsaw. Gotta be careful. Every step needs to be calculated. That way, if you get tangled up in something, you're not tripping and landing on your chainsaw. Now you see me measuring with my chainsaw. I know that right here on my chainsaw is a good measurement for my wood stove. And you just gotta be careful. I have to walk over this log, every step. And see, right there, barbed wire. Okay, this log here is just about the right size. It's 6 inches. Normally I would split this, but this is going to be sitting here for several years, so it'll have plenty of time to dry, so I don't need to split it. And then when I'm actually ready to use it, I can take it up to my kindling splitter and it'll split real quick and easy. That way I don't have to take the time, drag everything to different locations. I can just stack it up and let it sit here for a few years. So I told myself that I would stop on two situations. Either one, the trailer got full, or I dulled the blade to the chainsaw. Well, I fortunately did not dull the chainsaw this time. That's incredible with all this junk laying around. I mean, look at this. There's a pipe right here that I didn't see until just now. So I'll just load up the trailer. Boy, if I could hit the trailer, that would be a good thing, but I keep missing. Every one of them is missed. So this is absolutely incredible. It's hard to imagine, I would imagine, if you hadn't seen it before. We couldn't walk past this edge that I'm standing at right now. I couldn't walk past it. Now I can get up in here, and of course, I mean, there's a lot of trash. You got to step over everything, but man, huge difference. More fencing material over here. So this is just going to be great. Not sure what we'll do with it initially. We'll have to let it settle down and get the roots out, but a lot of progress. Then the cedar tree. Once we get the cedar tree, I think everything in here is going to look a lot better. So if you'll check out that video where I talked about the first day being here, I would really appreciate it. Just click this box right here. I hope I can inspire you to blame yourself for failures so you can live your dream. Thanks for watching.